My next stop was over to visit my Uncle Joe, who I hadn't seen in quite a while. Ever since I was young, his work and adventurous lifestyle has kept him absent from many of the holiday get-togethers and other family functions. He doesn't like surprises very much, so I tried to call ahead of time to tell him I was coming over. The problem was, he doesn't always answer his phone either. Luckily he was home, although it appeared that I'd caught him at a bad time. Nevertheless, he seemed happy to see me, and he hurried me right in. We had a good time catching up and sharing our adventures. His stories definitely had mine beat though. Being my godfather as well, we've always had a real close relationship, and I can talk to him about anything. Although his favorite topic seems to be the government. When Uncle Joe does go outside, it's usually straight to the woods. As an avid sportsman of sorts, he has a rather impressive collection of firearms, and he showed me a couple from his arsenal. It was great seeing my uncle again, but I have to admit, being downwind of the Chicopee landfill was starting to get to me a little. Before I left, he warned me of all the scum in the world and gave me a little present to take along with me. That's one thing about my Uncle Joe, he always gave the coolest gifts. I've seen a lot of beautiful country on this trip, but what I wanted now was the bright lights and excitement of a big city. For this, there is no better remedy than the Big Apple, New York.
The northeastern states constitute the greatest concentration of population and urbanization in the Western Hemisphere, with an array of crowded cities and towering skyscrapers, symbols all of America's commercial and industrial culture.
I cruised down to Lower Manhattan to see my friend Lisa, a sophisticated New Yorker with a thriving business in the East Village. Always a gracious host, she was quick to offer me a drink to loosen up. Her apartment is very cozy and her music selection was rather soothing. I didn't suspect anything by the candles though. Her living room is always lit like that, because she's just that classy.
That's cool.
We sipped fine wine while I shared my tales of the road like a weary sailor who's just returned from a long tour at sea. When she asked me what I felt like doing with the rest of the evening, I told her that I would leave it up to her. I was tired of making decisions, and I knew I would enjoy whatever she had in mind. I love New York.
There are many symptoms that are involved with alcohol.
Well, there you are. There are other principles of human performance, of course, but you've had practice in recognizing and correcting 4 of the more important ones. That is, to increase the likelihood of a performance, why, turn on a positive event or see to it that an aversive or negative event is turned off.
With the finish line just a few hours away, I wasn't feeling the excitement of a happy homecoming, but rather like a kid on the last day of a great summer vacation.
The Northeast is preeminently an industrial region. For example, it leads the nation in the production of woolen goods.
I was in no hurry to get back, and before I would, there was one more stop I wanted to make.
The sandy beaches extend from Maryland to Maine. Millions of people in summer seek the invigorating influence of the open air for the season, for vacations, or weekends.
After driving 8,896 miles, I reached the Atlantic Ocean. The sight of it brought a sense of completeness to the trip. Having seen the mountains and the prairies from sea to shining sea, anything else now would seem like an afterthought. So I hopped in my car and I headed home.
Not only is the region highly urbanized, but more than 3/5 of its population live in metropolitan districts of more than 100,000. There is a continuous metropolitan district from Boston to Washington.
The highways are an endless source of fun and adventure, and with enough time and enough money, you could spend the rest of your life following them around the world. But for now, the ride must end. This is Daniel Cieplinski. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my movie.